Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that was dealing with very extreme, intense, and ongoing levels of anxiety. And this anxiety was relentless, and because it was an ongoing thing, they were constantly triggered into activating their sympathetic nervous system, and that means adrenaline, cortisol, intrusive thoughts, and a sense of unease, this hypervigilance. And they almost like mapped that out into their future, that they just imagined it would always be this way. That also had depressive thoughts as well, because they were losing hope that they could go back to normality. And one of the metaphors that you're going to hear in this particular session is the idea of a pressure cooker. And I think it's a very good metaphor, because for a lot of people, they have this idea that a breakdown or some kind of intense anxiety is one thing. And actually, it's a bit more like the proverb of the straw that breaks the camel's back, that it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. And then actually the one thing, which isn't even the major thing, added onto everything else feels overwhelming. So a pressure cooker follows that idea of the straw that breaks the camel's back, in the sense that all these things can accumulate over time, and then it just feels that the capacity to deal with things is exhausted because you've used up that capacity. That pressure gauge is already on red, and therefore one additional thing can make it explode. So there's a metaphor of releasing that pressure, which I think is very useful for anyone feeling overwhelmed with any emotion, particularly anxiety or this feeling of overwhelming stress. The second key part of it is an element of regression. And there was a few memories that the client felt was still affecting their present moment. And one of them was being bullied in high school. And you're going to hear an element of going to a resourceful time in their life when they were doing very well in their career, associating into those resources, and then going back to a moment of childhood, and then putting those resources to use so that very horrible childhood bullying didn't take place. You can't change what happens in reality. You can change the meaning you give things, and you can change the frame. And by creating this idea of, well, knowing what they now know, how would they have wanted it to have been? Because as we get older, we learn additional skills that we didn't have in the past. It can give it a new meaning. And that is that they are not their past. They are not vulnerable, perhaps like they were when they were a child. So there's a few things going on here, but effectively you can consider this releasing excess pressure or an emotional detox as a way of kind of clearing the slate. And that's quite helpful. And it's designed to be listened on more than one occasion, because the idea that you can release, a lifetime of kind of emotional baggage in one session, for some people, they get to that place straight away. For some people, it takes a few listens. But the essence is letting go. So even if you can't relate to an idea of being bullied in high school or having a time in your life where you felt incredibly resourceful, releasing the pressure cooker of emotions still might be very useful, so that you feel more resourceful and therefore you can take on life with more capacity. Obviously, it was created for an individual. So if the idea of working with me directly appeals to you, but bespoke and customized to your situation, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule that free consultation call over Zoom. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a slow, calm, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, just release the tension in your eyelids and start to feel your jaw loosen. And as you breathe out, just get a sense that tension is being released. When you breathe in, just breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, scan your body for any feelings of tension. Perhaps your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your forehead. And just imagine that tension melting away. When you breathe in slower and for longer. And as you exhale, elongate the outward breath, breathing out for longer than you normally would. And notice that when you do that, when you breathe out for longer, really emptying your lungs, you can't help but take an even deeper breath in. And the deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become. And now focus on the tiny muscles in your forehead. Think of the muscles you need to use when you make the facial expression of surprise or concern. And on the next outward breath, just release those muscles. That's it. Breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And now focus on the muscles around your mouth and jaw. And imagine any stress or tension just being diluted or evaporating away. And feel that tension leave your body as you breathe out. And as your body relaxes, I want you to make a picture in your mind. Get a sense of there being a cabin in the mountains, surrounded by forests and raw nature. And I want you to imagine perhaps driving for 2 or 3 hours and then arriving at the cabin. And there's something about the look of it, the freshness of the air, that already makes you feel relaxed. I want you to imagine standing right in front of the door of the cabin. And as I count down from 5 to 1, I want you to imagine opening the door of the cabin and walking inside. 5, just imagine unlocking the door. 4, putting your hand on the handle. 3, turning the handle. 2, opening the door. And 1, walking inside that cabin, closing the door behind you. And I want you to seek out a comfortable bed or a comfy sofa. And when you found that place in the cabin, let me know by nodding your head. And just imagine, for some reason, that bed or sofa is twice as comfy as it normally is. Imagine positioning your body there in that place, almost feeling a sinking feeling. taking all the pressure off your muscles. And I want you to imagine this cabin in your imagination is a cabin where tension and stress seems to disappear. This is a cabin of calmness. So as you rest there in that place, I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And with each descending number, you will feel more and more relaxed. Consider this a way of gradually reaching a point of calmness and tranquility. So imagine positioning yourself on that comfy sofa or bed. And then 10, just focus on all of the muscles in your face, breathing in that resourceful relaxation and exhaling any tension. 9, specifically focus on your jaw, mouth, and nostrils, breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm and letting go of any tension. That's it. Just feeling it leave your body. And then 8, now focus on your neck and shoulders. And just visualize or imagine any tension in your neck and shoulders is like crystals of ice fused into your muscle tissue. And as you breathe in that resourceful relaxation, imagine that it's warm and that the relaxation melts away the tension, perhaps giving you a wonderful feeling of relaxation there in your neck and shoulders. 7, just allow that relaxation to go down your arms. As I want you to imagine your arms either feel limp and loose and heavy, or light and floaty, or perhaps both at exactly the same time. All the way down to the tips of your fingers. And then 6, as you breathe in, just imagine your lungs are starting to relax, so you breathe deeper down. Not from your chest, but deeper down from your diaphragm. And then 5, as you breathe in that calmness, just imagine all of your internal organs start to relax. Your heart beats slower. Your lungs breathe deeper. Any contraction in your stomach or gut starts to loosen. Feel that same looseness in your jaw as all of your internal organs start to relax. And then it goes down 4, right into your diaphragm and lower gut. Anxiety melts away as you feel a sense of peace, of ever increasing calmness. And then down into your waist and into your legs as 3 becomes 2, and now your legs feel limp, loose and heavy as you imagine all of your limbs like the limbs of a puppet with no strings, just floppy and limp and loose. And then 1 all the way down into your ankles and feet and toes, rippling all the way up, back down again. And imagine how good it would feel to feel like you're drifting off into a dreamlike sleep here in the cabin of calmness. And while your physical body feels like it's in a dreamlike sleep, your imagination leaves that version of you and is now standing by your side. And just to check how relaxed you are, just imagine lifting your arm up from the wrist and then dropping it, and just see it flop all the way back down. Keep your physical body there and allow your imagination to leave the cabin and seek out a view of a trickling stream, treetops and mountains. And when you reach a place of pure relaxation with the perfect view, a place where you feel safe and relaxed and calm, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine, for some reason in this place in nature, is a large pressure cooker. A large pressure cooker with a gauge. The kind of gauge that shows green if it's in a safe place, amber if it's getting too much pressure, and red if it's dangerously overpressurized. And this pressure cooker is about the same size as you, but it's not you. And I want you to get a sense of just how much stress and anxiety and pressure you're holding onto right now. That if you feel at your limit, start to see the pressure cooker in that dangerous red zone. And once you feel that the pressure in you is calibrated with the pressure in this giant pressure cooker, let me know by nodding your head. Just get a sense that you're seeing this pressure cooker holding on to too much pressure. For some reason, the release valve hasn't been used on this pressure cooker for a while. It's just been building up and building up and building up. And now it takes hardly anything for this pressure cooker to jump to the red zone. And if your unconscious can relate to this feeling of too much pressure being at the limit, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And perhaps you could imagine staring into a trickling stream. And I want you to imagine, bit by bit, you're going to release pressure. And as pressure is released in you, it will simultaneously be released in the pressure cooker. I want you to think of unfinished business. Open loops, things you said you do but haven't done. And just scan your memory for all of those open loops, those unfinished business. And just decide that now is the time to let them go. Because if they're important enough, they will come back on your radar in the future. But you don't need to hold on to these what ifs and maybes anymore. So just imagine scanning your body for any stress linked to unfinished business. And when you found it, let me know by nodding your head. And then as you breathe out, just feel that your breath is the release valve. Breathe out that pressure as you feel a sense of release. I want you to scan your body for any feelings of anger for any reason. Could be an injustice, something that wasn't fair. People that have wronged you in the past. Scan your body for any feelings of anger, because that's contributing to this pressure cooker. And when you found it, let me know by nodding your head. And then take a deep breath in and release the anger on the outward breath, just feeling a sense of release. That's it. Now I want you to scan your body for any feelings of sadness, particularly sadness that's justified, the loss of things that you valued, moments of pain or sorrow, people you've lost, maybe even a pet. And sometimes people feel sadness in the heart. Sometimes it's around the neck. That feeling of wanting to cry, and just scan your body for that sadness and acknowledge that holding on to that sadness isn't the point of sadness. The point of sadness is to release it. And it's when you release it, anything you need to learn from it, you will. And it means you get to let go of painful memories. And when you found that sadness, really find it. Let me know by nodding your head. Take a deep, deep breath in. And on the outward breath, feel it's now time to release that sadness. That's it. Almost get a sense of a balloon being deflated as all of that sadness leaves your body. And just glance at the pressure cooker and see that what was on that dangerously red level is already an amber, but there's more to go. I want you to scan your body for any feeling of regret. In life, there's two main regrets. Things you did that you wish you didn't, and things you never did that you wish you did. And regret can weigh heavy. It can add to that pressure cooker of emotions. And what if now is exactly the right time to let go of those regrets? You're wiser anyway. Holding on to the regret doesn't make you any more wiser. And when you found it, let me know by nodding your head. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not, just allow your unconscious to let go of something else. So breathe in a deep, deep breath, and on the outward breath, release it. That's it. And scan your body now for any other feelings. Feelings of pain, feelings of anxiety, feelings of overwhelm. And as you breathe out, just release them. And keep releasing them in that outward breath until you see that pressure cooker gauge go all the way to that safe green level. And when it reaches the green level, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to think of a time in your past where you were brimming with resourcefulness, confidence, maybe at the pinnacle of your career. And I want you to go back to that moment and see yourself as you were, dealing with a difficult challenge, spinning lots of plates. And when you can locate that memory where you were at your most resourceful, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And see that younger version of you. And know for a fact that their pressure cooker gauge had to be in the green. Every now and then it would go to amber or red, but only briefly before going all the way back down to green. Because back then you were so resourceful. You could count on you to solve whatever needed to be solved. And I wonder if you can step into that version of you and reactivate those feelings to feel confident, calm, to feel resourceful. I want you to breathe the same way you breathed back then. Notice you're in a dialogue back then. Calm, confident, assured. Any problem will find a way. I want you to locate a mirror in that location and see how you looked. Calm, resourceful, confident, and resilient. And when you feel that you're reawakening, just like a phoenix from the flames, that version of you, even if it's just rekindling an essence of that resourceful version of you, let me know by nodding your head. And when you feel that resourceful version of you, it's time to go back earlier. Go back to you when you were 8 years old at school. And I want you to see that 8-year-old version of you being picked on, perhaps the first, second, or third time, but early on. And when you can see that younger version of you, maybe anxious or vulnerable, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel calm and confident and resourceful. And then when that 8-year-old version of you is on their own, tell them you are them from the future. And prove it by telling them a secret only they would know. And when you've done that, when they now believe that you are them from the future, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you just for a minute to listen to the concerns of that child. What are they worried about? What are the important things for them? To support them, believe them, tell them they are loved. Tell them you will protect them. I want you to hug that little version of you until they feel safe and believed and worthy. And then I want the two of you to hatch a plan that would change things in school. And maybe that's talking with other children and creating a new memory, a memory that changes things, a memory that makes that younger version of you a champion, a leader, a superhero that finds justice. And you're there to coach them, to support them, but they're the one doing it. They don't need saving. They need it to be empowered, encouraged, believed, and supported. And I want you to help that little girl create a brand new timeline. A timeline where she was never afraid to go to school. A timeline where she believed in herself, was calm and confident. And help her to create that. And maybe it all comes down to one moment in time, an intervention. And see that younger version of you being the leader of that intervention. I want you to imagine you're like a director of a new scene in your past, and there doesn't have to be one take. There can be many different versions until you find the one you're most happy with. All different scenarios until you find the one where that 8-year-old or 9-year-old version of you is smiling from ear to ear, feeling confident and courageous, in control, a leader. And when you found the version that creates that version of her, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that childlike body and feel that sense of feeling powerful and calm and confident. And when you know it's there, let me know by nodding your head. And then leave it, see that little girl, give her a hug. Tell her things will be better now. Tell her she's loved. You'll always be there to protect her. And then imagine floating up and seeing a ripple through time from then all the way to the present. That moment set a chain of events. That confident, calm, courageous version of you, all the way to the present moment, until you see yourself right by the side of a trickling stream next to a pressure cooker, and then see that the pressure cooker is on that safe green level in the gauge, and see the version of you right next to the pressure cooker, and see that version of you looking calm and confident and relaxed. Step into that version of you. Feel resourceful and calm, but all of that hypervigilance is dialed all the way down. And then walk back into the cabin and see a version of you sleeping. Step into that version of you, and now feel that all parts are calm, collected and resourceful, that you've released all of those heavy emotions, and that things are going to feel more manageable. So as you leave the cabin, feel like you're floating all the way back to the present moment as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully into the here and now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.